Hi everyone, Stacy here with I Advise College Recruiting. The topic I'm going to discuss here in this video is the transfer portal. So first let's review what is the transfer portal. So it is a system that's used by college student athletes who wish to leave their current school and go to a different one to play their sport. Of course, there are rules set by the NCAA on how to go about transferring. And the rules kind of depend on whether or not you are transferring from a 4-year institution to another 4-year institution or a 2-year to a 4-year. And Division III has a little bit different rules. Handbooks are available online, and I'll try to link those below. So you may have heard of the transfer portal window. So the window is a sport-specific period of time when an athlete can enter the portal. Again, there's a link with that information, and I can link that as well below. If not, if you just Google transfer portal windows, it'll be sure to pop up and you can check. Again, the window is a period of time when the athlete is allowed to enter in. Recently, there have been loosened rules that have definitely increased the portal action. Specifically, there's now multiple transfers are allowed and immediate eligibility. So we have been seeing a massive increase in transfer portal action, which is why I wanted to do this video. Some basic things to keep in mind, academic things. Student athletes have to be eligible academically, in good standing with their university, and meet a standard of academic progress towards their degree in order to be able to transfer. So I wanted to share some of my basic thoughts on the transfer process and transferring in general. So I suggest that you do think long and hard about your decision to transfer. It is a massive decision, and I think it should be thought out thoroughly before acting upon it. You might be wondering why some students transfer, and I think there could be some valid reasons. Perhaps a coaching change. You were recruited by a coach and then they left, and that particular coach had a set position ready for you. Another reason is that you were cut. It's a great reason to transfer, and maybe you weren't getting any playing time and you're looking to go down a division in order to get some playing time. Could be academic reasons. If you feel that your university isn't offering the academics that you need, then transferring may make sense. Perhaps personal or family reasons. Maybe something's happening and you just prefer to be closer to home. There is the rare occasion when maybe a player is significantly above, they find themselves above the level of the program and they want to seek opportunity elsewhere. And maybe that may or may not include monetary benefits. So I do believe there are some valid reasons to transfer. Reasons that I don't think are valid are that you're going to play more somewhere else. I feel that a lot of people hop into the portal thinking that, the grass is greener on the other side, and they are just having a hard time handling their coach or some teammate issues. And maybe they're just out to look for some more money, whether it be NIL money. I think those reasons may not be the most valid reasons to throw in the towel and to transfer. But the trend seems to be that the ease of which student athletes can use a transfer portal is creating this opportunity to escape situations that are uncomfortable or difficult instead of working to overcome some of these challenges. And I'm just not so sure that's a positive thing. I do think it's important to work through issues and step up and overcome challenges, and that's a part of your college experience. I also think it places an overemphasis on sport above academics, and again, I don't think that's also I don't think that's a positive thing. So with the increased amount of transfers, what we're seeing across the board generally is a lack of development on these athletic teams. Coaches are having to start over with new teams, leading to actually decreased success of some programs. Um, Another, negative consequence of all this is that student athletes are unable to earn their degree because they've hopped schools too many times and their credits just aren't transferring. We've seen some coaches retire because they just simply don't like operating this way. They don't want to recruit from the portal, and they don't want to have to recreate the wheel each and every season. And they just don't like the lack of loyalty that some of the athletes don't have anymore. So those are my basic transfer thoughts. I do think that it's I think the grass is greener mentality has really sort of taken over the purpose of what was and can be a good thing for some athletes, but I think it's a little bit overused at this point. So I did some research on transferring, and I found some not so great stats. So the first one here is more than 31,000 student athletes who entered the portal in 2023, and 45% of them moved on to new schools. So that means more than half did not land with a new team. So I guess they either wait a year and try again, or maybe just quit their sport altogether. Um, Another stat was that 40% lose meaningful credits when they transfer. So this is a big academic problem. You can't assume that your credits are going to just be counted by every university. So that is something to definitely take into consideration. And then another stat here, 66 of successful transfers did move down a division or a level or conference. And I don't think that this is something that student athletes have in mind when they enter the portal. I think a lot of them think that they're going to move up. And the truth of the matter is that a greater majority of them do move down. So like I said before, I think the portal is a good idea, maybe a little bit gone sour. Many see the overuse of the transfer portal as a major issue that is changing college sports, especially in recruiting, and not really for the better. Now, let's say you've thought it through thoroughly, and you do have a valid and a good reason to transfer. Here are some quick guidelines for you. So first, there may be implications for you. So prior to making that decision, be sure to try to communicate with your coaching staff to see if any issues can actually be worked out. If not, and you are insisting on transferring, then if you are in the Division One, you must first watch an educational video on the transfer process. Then you must give a written notice of transferring to your compliance office at your school. And then that school will have to put you into the portal within 2 business days. And then they are required to provide you with any information as to what happens next. And that could be regarding any existing financial aid agreements, the use of their facilities, etc. Once you are in the portal, and again, it all happens pretty quickly within 48 hours, you'll be in that portal. Then you can begin the recruiting process. You can reach out to coaches, and coaches can contact you at that point. Coaches will have access to your name, your contact information, and the number of years of eligibility remaining. So how does the transfer portal affect high school athletes who are trying to get recruited? So generally, the portal has made recruitment for high school athletes definitely more challenging. And the reason is because athletes in the portal have more experience. They've had time to get bigger, stronger, and more skilled. And the athletes in the portal have had time to prove their value already in college at whatever level they've already competed, whether it's Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA, junior college, what have you. They've had their chance to prove their competence and their value. So, not to fret, however, though, NCAA coaches are definitely still interested in recruiting high school athletes. They want to, invest in a foundation and work on development. So they're going to look to high school athletes still So high school athletes need to be prepared for that, and they need to be prepared to show that they are ready and able to make an immediate impact at the program they are targeting. And they must target the appropriate programs. Try to match your ability to the correct program. So that will be helpful to high school athletes who are trying to get recruited. So overall, the portal has made the recruiting environment much more challenging due to limited spots, a large recruitment pool, and high school athletes will need to work extremely hard at all the things, at their sport, at their academics, and of course their recruiting tasks.